All right, everything you're about to see has a flaw in the process. Was it the malt? Was it the hops? Or could it have been something more sinister? I think every home brewer has found themselves in a situation at some time with leftover ingredients. And you're just not sure what to brew. But what happens when you've got ingredients you've never used before? Hey folks, I've got some Amarillo hops. I've never used Amarillo before. I know, I'm probably the only home brewer left who hasn't tried Amarillo yet. At any rate, I've got this big bag of Amarillo hops, and I've got a package of Kveik yeast, and I've never used that before either. So what I'm going to do is make a SMaSH beer. That's a single malt with a single hop. I've got plenty of Maris Otter malt on hand. I'm going to use 10 pounds of that, and I'm going to use Amarillo hops exclusively in the boil. 1 ounce at 60 minutes and 1 ounce at 5-10, somewhere at the end of the boil. And then I'm going to pitch Kveik yeast. This yeast is supposed to work very well at high temperatures, in the 90s. And we're supposed to get 90-degree temperatures here in mid-Michigan within the next day or so. So I'm going to ferment right here in the garage. So here's my brand new scale, which I bought from my local homebrew store. The same homebrew store, which by the way gave me the Kveik yeast. They said, here Kevin, take this home and give it a try. Tell us what you think. I'm going to weigh out 10 pounds of Maris Otter malt. So during the mash, I took the time to clean some equipment, some kegs, and my fermenter. Fly sparging is fly sparging, no matter what the recipe. Now, I've tried to capture this on film before, but I don't think I've ever completely succeeded. My wort is coming to a boil, and you can see the foam is rising. I've got 9 gallons in a 15-gallon kettle. It could boil over, but if you want to control the boil over, use firm cap S. Now it says 2 drops per gallon, but I found that just a couple of drops in total knocks that sucker down flat. And at that rate, this stuff will last you a lifetime. Unless, of course, you drop the bottle and break it. No stress brewing. It only costs $5. I'll get another one. I've got 1 pound of Amarillo hops that I got from my local homebrew store. I'm going to add 1 ounce at the beginning of the boil. I finally decided to throw that last addition of hops in with 5 minutes left in the boil. Now if I had a long enough hose for my pump, I would just pump from the boil kettle to the fermenter here and save myself some lifting, but I don't, so I'm going to have to. I'm hoping to get 6 gallons in total volume into my fermenter, and I'm supposed to have an original gravity of 1051. I think I'm going to be a little shy on that, but we'll see. Alright, that's all I'm going to get. And I am, if the markings are right here, I got about 5 gallons. Oh. Alright, I chilled the wort down to the mid-80s, and I went directly from the boil kettle to the fermenter in the garage, and it's going to stay in the garage where the temperatures for the next 4 days or so is expected to be in the upper 80s. That's why I'm using Lallemand Voss Kveik. Kveik. However the hell you pronounce it. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. Seal it up. Oh, I forgot. My tilt hydrometer. Let's place this in there. There we go. 1051 was the estimated original gravity when all was said and done. I took a little post-boil gravity measurement and it came out at 1049, so if that holds true, I will be a little bit short. I'm going to use a blow-off tube. This is my blow-off vessel, container, and I'm going to fill this partway up with Star Sand solution. That should be good. All right, and oh my goodness, this has been in the Star Sand. It was washed, cleaned, placed in the Star Sand, and of course I forgot to attach the blow-off. There we go. Now this stuff should take off pretty quick. I might see activity before the night's through. And it should burn through this beer pretty fast also. 3-4 days. All right, it's all buttoned up. Except for cleanup. Brew day is over. So to wrap up, the original gravity was 1049. The final gravity measured at 1018. But there could have been an issue with calibrating my tilt hydrometer. I think it might have been actually lower than that. Now there's a good chance that my tilt wasn't properly calibrated. I had just put a new battery in it and I didn't bother to calibrate it. So going with the numbers, I've got a little over a 4% beer. As for the flaw that I mentioned at the beginning, that has to do with me using two variables in this recipe. A new hops and a new yeast. So I don't know which one contributes to the flavor characteristics and profile of this beer. So a little tip for you, if you're going to experiment with a brand new ingredient, use a known recipe and add one at a time. That way you can tell what that new ingredient has brought to the party. For me, the real interesting part of this whole experiment was how fast the yeast worked. I brewed on Sunday and pitched the yeast. Wednesday I had a gravity of 1018. It was the same on Thursday, so that's when I kegged, just 4 days later. And then I quick carbed it in the kegerator that night, and here it is Sunday, and I'm drinking the sucker. I really think that Kveik is going to be my go-to yeast during the summertime. I'm going to start experimenting with different manufacturers and different strains and see what happens. But I really, really like that quick turnaround. And I really like this beer too.